I've lived all over. I used to live in New York. And I love living in New York. I feel like it was easier to meet people in New York. It just happened like more organically. Like one time, I went into a bodega near my apartment, and a homeless guy got up off the ground and followed me in. And then he just started narrating my shopping trip. And he just started going like, ooh, getting a juice, she thirsty. Getting a granola, she healthy. Like just repeatedly, everything I touched, he'd be like, ooh, she liked that. And so then I go to pay, and he leans over the cash register and goes, hey, do you like music? And I just ignore him, as you do. And he goes, I got 2 tickets to the 96th Street Symphony if you want to go with me. That's not a place, doesn't exist. So I just ignore him, and I walk out. He walks out with me. I walk into my apartment. He follows me there. I get to the corner, and I'm like, what am I going to do? And so I stop, and he stops. And then he goes, all right, baby, I got to go this way, but I'll see you later. Hugs me tight and walks away. And I was like, friends are easy to find. People say it's hard to make friends as an adult. Not if you're not picky. It's really not. It's really not. Don't be so selective. Friends are everywhere. I turned 24 when I lived in New York, and it was my favorite birthday because everybody was like so excited, and everybody was like, oh my God, you're 24, like you're so young, you have your whole life ahead of you, you're like a 24-year-old baby. And I loved that because originally I'm from Mississippi, and so back home people would be like, oh my God, 24. Where's your baby? How do you not have a baby yet? Can you not have kids? You shooting blanks? You lesbian? What's going on? I'd have to be like, no thank you, lady behind me at Target. I don't want to discuss my fertility with you. I'm buying maternity pants, but that is my choice and not your business, okay? Mind your business. It's funny when people in LA find out that I'm from Mississippi, because it's like, I'll be with friends and we'll be meeting people and they'll be like, where are you from? And my friend will be like, oh, I'm from Chicago. And they go, oh, I love Chicago. And they're like, oh, I'm from Austin. And they're like, I've always wanted to go to Austin. And I'm like, I'm from Mississippi. And they're like, oh, God. It's like I was a prisoner of war. And they're like, thank God you got out of there. Are you okay? But it's fine, and maybe it is Stockholm Syndrome, but I feel like it was fine. And I think partially because, shout out to my dad, not a racist dad, okay? My parents are like super progressive, even though they're from Mississippi and Louisiana, they're really progressive people, and like politically, and I was talking to my dad about this once, and it is for the most hillbilly kind of reasons that they're not, racist homophobes. Like an example, I was talking to my dad about how, was it weird growing up in Mississippi in the 80s and like being accepting of gay people and like what has that been like? And he was like, nah, it wasn't weird. Nah, cause I always was fine with the gays, cause when I was a kid, I used to take the bus to school, and one day I used to get off the bus, and every day I'd get off the bus. My neighbor had 2 boy dogs, and they'd be going at it, man. And it looked so natural, and I figured this has got to be something natural. But, it's like, it is a very redneck reason to not be a homophobe, but, like, thankful for it, I was like, Dad, that's so redneck of you. And he said, they were Irish setters. Like they weren't coon dogs. Like, I don't know. He's funny. One time I was talking about how he isn't a fan of Trump, and we were talking about the time that Donald Trump said, perhaps if she weren't my daughter, I would be dating her. Talking about Ivanka. Obviously not Tiffany. What happened to Tiffany Trump? Where is she? No, she's like, Ivanka is when you're like ready for the photo and you're like, yeah, take it, I know my angles. And Tiffany's like when you're scrolling TikTok and you open front camera and you're like, shit. That's what I look like. Sorry to her. Sorry to your girlie. But we were talking about when Trump said, perhaps if she weren't my daughter, I would be dating her. And my dad looked at me and he said, hey, that's something you can feel good about. I wouldn't date you even if you weren't my daughter. I was like, okay, Dad, I don't want to date you either. But also, why wouldn't you date me if I weren't your daughter? It was a real Freudian moment, but I was like, what do you not like about me? I look a lot like Mom, we have the same beliefs, like what's going on? Yeah, I've lost a lot of weight recently. I've lost like 70 pounds, like I've lost a good bit of weight, and it's been weird because I had like a lot of material about being fat, right? And so I was talking to my friend and I was like, I don't know, I feel like it's like a Jonah Hill thing, like maybe I'm not funny anymore because I'm not so fat, and I don't know, like, I don't know if I can do my material, and my friend goes, you're still like kind of fat. In LA, you're kind of a whale. You're supposed to be going, no way, no, you're so skinny, we can barely see you. Where are you? No, but it's been weird, and so I wanted to talk to a therapist just kind of about, everything. And I've ghosted every therapist I've ever had, so know that. But I meet with this therapist, we have an intake session where like they talk about all of your traumas and problems and everything for like an hour. And then they're supposed to like work on that in the next sessions. And we get to the end of my session and she goes, okay, I don't think I'm qualified to be your therapist. And she was in her 70s, so she's been around. I was like, oh my God, okay, thanks so much. She said, all the notes will be in the system, so your next therapist can know. I was like, I don't want him to see your notes, clearly. And that's why I'm on stage. Thank you. No, my cousin lost like 50 pounds in 2.5 weeks, and she was in a medically induced coma. Okay, but hear me out. That doesn't sound so bad to me. Like, she just got to sleep a very deep sleep and like wake up with a lot of attention, and she was healthy and insurance paid for all of it. Like, if anything, I think we're marketing comas incorrectly. I think like if we got like Gwyneth Paltrow to be like, this year's Gooper treat will be a micro coma, we'll do a small coma, like, we'd be like, sign me up. If it was like Comas by Kardashian with a K, like, knock me out. I want to wake up with like a fat ass and a tiny waist. No, they took their asses out, right? They took their butts out. That's the thing, like, remember when the Kardashians were just like appropriating the culture of black women all the time? And they still are, I guess. But I feel like that's a thing that white girls love to do, is like take things from black women and gay men, really, and be like, it's ours now. Like words especially, like one of my coworkers called something cunty the other day, and I was like, you're a woman who's in her 30s, you can't, you're not Charlie XCX. But it's like, yeah, like yes, queen, slay, like cunty, all these things are like, we didn't come up with that. And I want black women and gay men just to start saying the craziest shit they can think of. I want them to start saying like piss in my butt. It was wild, like what is that? I don't know. But just see how long it takes to like trickle down till there's like a bachelorette party. They're all going like, piss in my butt! Piss in my butt, you cunt! I don't know. I'm so sorry, and I'm so sorry that I'm bringing up the next comedian immediately after saying piss in my butt, you cunt. But he's so great.